IBM Endpoint Manager for mobile devices extends IBM's Big Fix technology for managing and securing servers, desktops, and laptops to iOS, Android, Symbian, and Windows smartphones and tablets. In this quick video, we'll use an Android smartphone to highlight some of the key features. On your screen, you will see the device view on the left and the administrator's console to the right. There is also a web-based reporting console not shown here. Now, let's get started. First, let's enroll a new device into the Endpoint Manager mobile device platform. We'll start by getting the IBM Management app installed on the device. We're going to go to the Play Store and download the IBM mobile client from Google Play. Just with a quick search here, like you would for any other app from Google Play or the Apple App Store. Once the end user has installed the app on their device, then we can complete an authenticated enrollment process to ensure that both the user and the device should be granted access to the enterprise systems. During the enrollment process, you can ask customized questions that can be later used for reporting and policy targeting purposes. Once enrolled, then the end user will see their status, their last successful report date, any messages that you might need to deliver to them, and recommended enterprise apps out of the Enterprise App Store. The agent will automatically report to the console within minutes. You can see that it's added here. Now, this endpoint is fully provisioned and managed within the console. Now let's take a quick look at performing device inventory. And here you can see again on the left the current device and on the right the console. So within the console, here we're going to drill down into a single device view. These are all of our mobile devices, and we're going to look at this particular Android device where we can see the owner's name, specific operating system information, and what kind of management commands are available. We can see that there's a security issue here and what apps are installed. In addition to the console view, here you can also get the web browser view, and you can see a quick little dashboard there to the right of the last known location, the last time it reported, free space, etc., and some of the details about this device. What information is relevant to the device, perhaps any missing security configurations. And now drilling into the Google Maps view of the last known location of the device. Once devices have been enrolled and provisioned within Endpoint Manager, it's very important to be able to deliver and manage apps out to those devices. As we can see here in this particular device, there are currently no recommended apps for this end user. Let's see how that might be addressed. We go into the Apps Management area, Recommended Apps for Android. And we can either import them from Google Play or load internally developed apps manually into the Enterprise App Store. They can also be placed into the Enterprise App Store automatically through integration with IBM Worklight, our mobile app development platform. We'll use IBM Connections as an example. Now, once we have the app in the Enterprise App Store, we need to say which app should be delivered to which devices. And we can even group them into bundles for faster app management. In addition to the grouping capability, we can restrict app deployment and availability to particular OS versions, so that if you know some of your employees are running older versions of Android or iOS or Windows that you don't feel are secure enough for that particular app, then no need to individually call out those devices. Simply check the box during the app deployment process. In this particular example, we're going to push these apps out to all devices, and all devices with the specified property values will automatically provide status updates that the task has been completed. Now the device has 2 recommended apps that the employee can install. Even though they're retrieving the apps from Google Play or the Apple App Store or various other app stores, going through this enterprise mechanism gives you the control to remove those apps at a later date. and then you see IBM Connections is now installed. And with that, we have now installed our first two apps out to all of our mobile devices. Of course, it is possible to target those apps to only certain sets of mobile devices based on really any property of the mobile device or information that can be retrieved out of Active Directory or an LDAP structure. Now let's look at ways that we can secure the devices. Of course, one of the main reasons for purchasing and implementing a mobile device management solution is to protect confidential corporate information on both personally owned employee devices as well as organizationally owned devices. So let's take a look at how IBM Endpoint Manager helps you manage the security of these devices. Here we're configuring the Wi-Fi profile of an Android device, keeping the SSID hidden, and then this profile can be applied to all Android devices. The types of configurations that you will be able to manage are things like password policies, device encryption, disabling the camera for the Wi-Fi device, remote lock, Wi-Fi configuration, and also non-security related configurations such as roaming and to control roaming costs. So let's go ahead and just configure the password policy, requiring a device password, setting the strength of that password, and deciding whether or not to force the password change immediately. These configurations can also be changed on a location basis, known as geofencing, although we recommend against that just because of the battery drain requirement. And now we're taking actions against it to enforce these policies against the device. The next time that the user picks up their device to use it, they will be required to input their password. This is just a quick example of one of the ways that we can set security policy. Again, security policy can be targeted to different groups of devices based on many different parameters. Information about those devices, their operating system, specific version numbers, hardware platforms, or information collected during the custom enrollment questions. Perhaps a different set of policy for personally owned devices versus enterprise-owned devices, as well as business unit or departmental information that might be retrieved out of Active Directory or LDAP. IBM Endpoint Manager for mobile devices is part of the overall Endpoint Manager family, providing lifecycle management, server automation, software metering, compliance, anti-malware, and data loss prevention across over 90 operating system versions, both physical and virtual, on and off the network. This single infrastructure solution enables unified reporting and management on up to 250,000 endpoints from just one dedicated server. Thank you very much for joining us today. Please visit ibm.com/Tivoli/endpoint for more information.